Look at the picture. See the skull. Visible Frankenstein controls. The Brain Thoughts broadcasting radio. The Frankenstein earphone radio. The latest new skull reforming to contain all Frankenstein controls.
Welcome, everyone. It's great to have you with us for yet another episode of Frankenstein Control. As of this recording today, it's Electionstein Control. That's right, it's Super Tuesday across the country for the 2020 presidential primaries. More on that in just a bit. But you can expect to hear lots of on-air phone and iPad notifications from our various news apps as the night goes on. Possibly also palpable changes in voice and demeanor from us, depending on which headlines come rolling in. Speaking of headlines, it's been a rough few days in the news since we last met. As I often say, though, I literally cannot recall a time in the past 5 years when that wasn't just constantly true.
Yep. Welcome to the new normal.
'Tis the zeitgeist. Anyhow, 4 people in Washington state have now rolled natural ones on their constitution checks, failed their saving throws, and succumbed to the COVID-19 status effect.
Oh, my.
Raising fears and eyebrows nationwide.
Oh, my, no.
The Trump administration, of course, attempted to ease tensions over the weekend with Secretary of Health and Human Services Alex Azar delivering a press conference where he advised Americans not to panic, stating, I have it on good authority that their DM was a real railroading asshole. Also taking charge of the ongoing coronavirus situation is Vice President Mike Pence.
Oh, boy.
The best person for the job.
We're in good hands. But yes, he stood with Secretary Azar at the very same press conference on Sunday, although he was too busy chewing candy from behind the little pestilence door of his Book of Revelations Armageddon Advent calendar to comment at the time.
Wow.
He's been getting a lot of use out of that recently, which is not good for us.
No, it is not.
During other appearances, however, Vice President Pence has outlined his one-step plan of praying real hard for the virus to go away, and has seemed confused and vaguely hostile when reporters have asked if he could elaborate. Meanwhile, many of his staffers have anonymously reached out on their own to various outlets, and their statements reveal a glimpse at how the vice president is privately addressing the health crisis.
Oh.
Well, when he's not continuously rewatching the intro credit scene of the 2004 remake of Dawn of the Dead with the cool Johnny Cash song, evidently Pence has been placing the blame for the spread of the disease upon cruise ships.
Cruise ships.
Well, several of them have been infamously quarantined or turned away from ports over COVID-19 concerns, including one called the Diamond Princess, I think, which was like quarantined for like a really long time, and they're only now letting people leave it. But anyhow, according to several accounts, the vice president has been known to rant several times a day about how the coronavirus is God's judgment for building debauched luxury vessels larger than the cubit measurements specified for the Ark in the Bible. He's repeatedly referred to such ships as plague hives and floating towers of Babel. More on that story as it hopefully kills us.
Abira, I thought you were supposed to be making jokes about the news, man.
I'm just reporting it now.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I can't even write the jokes anymore. It's just I just have to read it as it is.
Yeah.
I'm like, I hear what happens, and I'm like, how could I put a spin on that?
It's already a spiral.
I'm out of a job.
Yep.
Lastly, of course, it is Super Tuesday, and the nation is watching with bated breath after the past 48 hours, which saw the shocking ends of both the Buttigieg and Klobuchar presidential bids. Democrats and mythical cryptid-like swing voters are watching closely to see if today will prove a substantial victory for either the revolutionary progressives or the status quo-loving centrist establishment. Naturally, this is all very stressful for anyone hoping to see real change in the United States, which brings us to our next segment. Even B-Rye's attempts at fantasy escapism to distract himself from all this are still fraught with frustration and the bad ideas of others he's powerless to remedy.
That's a long name. What's the acronym for that? Oh, okay. Expertly done.
Well, nowhere is all of this better illustrated, I feel, than in the impromptu list I compiled just last night, detailing all the ways in which Joe Biden is strikingly similar to the dragons in Skyrim.
Oh, well then, this was an unexpected turn.
Let's dive right in.
Okay then.
Well, for example, both are ancient relics of a world long past. Both are giant, immersion-breaking, unwelcome time wasters. Alduin also said some shitty things about Anita King and voted against gay marriage. We thought they were both really cool when they were first introduced, but now we groan whenever we see or hear them and wish we had a mod to stop them from spawning. And, of course, in the event that Bernie or another candidate does manage to defeat Biden at the upcoming Democratic convention, his colossal rubbery skeleton will collapse on the stage and remain in everyone's way until the cell refreshes.
And if you hit it with a necromancy spell, it'll go flying.
Flies across the room.
Knocks a dog off a cliff.
Bernie, however, will be able to unlock the billionaire Ren shout, which forces the private jets of the 1% to land so he can make them pay their taxes. I've had about enough of the news for one day. I'm going to turn it over to you two.
Haven't we all? Welcome to Frankenstein Control, the only place that votes Barney the Dinosaur as their main Democratic candidate. I'm your host, Barney the Dinosaur. To my right is Baby Bop.
Ugh. All the Barney characters made me uncomfortable.
As
Me
they should.
too. And I had forgotten Baby Bop's name for like 25 years until this moment. Thank you, Taylor.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, in front of me as always is I don't know any more Barney character names. So in front of us as always is Sir Topham Hatt.
I was hoping for Schemer, man.
That's Shiny Time Station also. But yes, Schemer.
His name was fucking Schemer.
I always thought he was Gilbert Gottfried. He's not.
I just remember this dude with the slicked back hair, and he was vaguely shitty.
Yeah, I thought that he was, that shows Robbie Rotten, Schemer.
It's exactly what he was. That's exactly what he was.
I was always, I went my whole life thinking that Gilbert Gottfried was in that show as Schemer. Absolutely not. 100% not the case. I don't know where the fuck I came up with that. I guess I saw a vague resemblance in an interview somewhere when I was young, and I conflated the two.
Oh, I did stuff like that all the time. All the time when I was a kid, I did that.
Like when you thought Robin Williams was in The Terminator?
I didn't think Robin Williams was in The Terminator, but I thought the people I saw on TV were the same people I saw in real life, and I thought Robin Williams was my gym teacher, Mr. Lord.
Well, your gym teacher did go around going you gotta bounce the ball, you gotta throw the ball, hey, let me do my Elmer Fudd impression, very quiet.
And I was like, why is he less wacky and funny in real life? This is not cool, man.
It's because he had to pay for autographs.
Anyhow, yes, I'm B-Rye, and I voted, and I sincerely hope all our lovely Joshes at home voted as well, even if you voted for Biden, because it's your right as an American citizen. I can't do a Charlton Heston impression.
He says, clinking his hand to his chest as he passes away.
Which is exactly the...
It's your right as an American citizen.
There we go.
I'm Jonathan Heston. I've come back from the dead to tell you that hell is wonderful.
They love guns down there.
They love guns down there. We get to shoot ourselves every day. And we don't die from it. It's a paradise.
It's the NRA's Valhalla. Judeo-Christian hell is the NRA's Valhalla. You heard it here, folks.
Well, thank you, Charles and Heston. I really appreciate that. It's been a very long and painful journey back from the depths of the flaming plain. Oh, by the way, someone named Yukon Cornelius says to send for help.
Well, I don't know who that is, so there's nothing we can do.
Yeah, not a clue. Not a clue who Yukon Cornelius is. He must have had us mistaken with someone else.
But probably mistaken him for Burl Ives.
He's also in hell.
Silver and gold, silver and gold. Well, Charlton, thank you for this impromptu visit. Please don't leave any brimstone on your way out. Wow, he went off like a shot.
Wow. It smells like cordite in here.
It smells like Fordite in here.
Smells like netherite in here.
Everybody wash your hands with the D-lead soap from the gun range.
I already did. Yeah, I hope everyone's washing their hands out there, with the coronavirus infecting everybody and turning them into patient zero.
Yep. Buying all them cleaning products and like Lysol and Febreze. If you can't afford Lysol, at least you'll die smelling good. Speaking of that, I wanted to take a minute to mention that Pumpkin,
your cat,
my cat, is terrified of. So he's not afraid of things that like stereotypically scare cats, but he is scared of anything that makes a hissing noise, like a sudden loud hiss. So like anytime we spray Febreze because like the trash is bad, or like anytime we spray any kind of aerosol thing like that, he like hunkers down, his ears go flat, and he bolts out of the room. And I thought that was really funny until I realized like that's hissing in cat language is like an aggressive.
Oh, I'm gonna fuck you up, mate.
Yeah. It's like, how would you feel if like every time you used a certain thing, it said, "I'm gonna fucking kill you." Fuck you.
I just wanted to do the laundry.
It's like every time you open the detergent, it says, "Die." Fuck you.
I would, however, as a aside to that, I would like appliances to make death threats in Oblivion character voices. That'd be funny.
Oh, that'd be great. My God, I would fucking pay what's his name, Wes Johnson, in a heartbeat if I could get him to record like
GPS.
I would even get a damn, even though I've sworn not to, I'd even get a fucking Alexa if I could have it be Wes Johnson's voice in that thing.
It's like, Alexa, write down for my shopping list, we also need eggs and light bulbs. You move like a pregnant cow! Die! Thank you, Alexa.
Every time you close the fridge, it goes, ah! The dying noise. Ooh!
Turn on the garbage disposal. Wow!
At least 3 times a day, anytime you walk past the main Alexa unit, it's like, mud crabs, horrible creatures. I avoid them whenever I can.
I saw a mud crab today. Filthy Argonian down at the docks pulled a knife on me. I had to put him down.
This little confirmation noise when it's signaling that it's always listening to you, but it's signaling when it thinks you think that it's listening to you. When you're like, okay, Alexa, and instead of boop boop or whatever, it's like, hey, Alexa, good day. Or like, hey, Alexa, what do you want?
Or, need something.
You open the front door to your house. Oh, it's you. Hi. Which I think maybe a motivation got lost in the sound recording studio on that day, because generally the elf ladies who say that when you walk up to them are like smiling at your ass.
Yeah.
It's just like, I think they meant something like, oh, it's you, hi, not, oh, it's you, hi.
Oh, yeah. They sounded pissed as hell.
They did. They sounded,
oh, it's you,
flat out irate to see my Argonian ass.
I don't have a source on this, but I read that the Oblivion voice actors were given their lines in alphabetical order.
I would believe it.
Not in any order of motivation.
I think I've heard that as well.
It's just like, here's some random shit to say. How do you want me to say it?
However you feel.
Yeah.
Whatever you're feeling like. And I think that when it came to the and I think I voiced this opinion on the show before, but when it came to the battle statements and phrases and exclamations, they had exactly the same for every character of every race, and they just had all the voice actors of all the different genders and races say the exact same, say a selection of the exact same lines.
Yeah.
But they didn't give them any motivation on it. That's why, if an Imperial, who's voiced by the impeccable Wes Johnson, dodges an arrow or something, he'll go, whoa! Or something, and then the Argonian goes, whoa! Sometimes when you kill them, and their health is reduced to 0. Whoa! Can't even do it.
I think one of my favorite things is when you hit a target that is not aggroed to you yet, but is capable of being aggroed to you, and you hit them. Sometimes, usually an orc or a what's the word?
Nord.
Yeah, a Nord. Yes, because
I know what you're gonna do.
That's twice you hit me. And my favorite thing to do is hit them 3 times so I can get them to be like, "Ooh, that's twice you hit me." It cracks me up every time. I love it.
There's also in talks of differing motivation. Another pain exclamation. Both of the male orc and the male Nord also do is ooh.
That is a favorite of mine. Ooh.
Yeah. It wasn't any better in Morrowind because one of the pain exclamations was
Whoa, hey.
I would kill a guy and he'd go and fall over.
He's
Delicious.
into it. He's digging it. He's enjoying the experience of being killed by the Neverine.
Well, speaking of video games and fantasy video games in particular, I got Lissa The Witcher 3, the complete edition with all DLCs and shit.
Otherwise known as Geralt's Horse Adventure.
Yeah, Geralt's Horse Adventure, which is surprising. Well, it's funny to think about it that way because I actually almost never see her riding Roach. She's always just like running down the path.
It's because the world passes you by.
Exactly. She's like, I want to explore. I want to see all the forests and shit. I mean, like even if it takes me slower to get there, I still want to run there and see it all.
And I think that works good in like a fantasy environment. Because like you think of another game of a similar vein, like it's Red Dead. Mm-hmm. But like with Red Dead, that's one thing. It's like a cowboy game. You kind of know what's in them woods that you're rushing past and through on the horse. But like this is the world of The Witcher. You never know what sort of ghoul or ghast is going to leap at you from the bushes. Mm-hmm. So like you want to see that. You want to see what kind of goofy thing you might find. There might be a treasure chest.
Exactly.
There might be a jack-o'-lantern filled with beef.
A hamburger meat.
Hamburger meat. That's the word.
It just makes me think of when you were driving around in it was Final Fantasy 15. What's the most recent one? The one that you broke the disc in half.
Oh yeah, that's Final Fantasy 15 for sure.
You were driving around in your sports car that you have, and I was not used to the characters in Final Fantasy having a sports car, a modern ass sports car. And all of a sudden, like this big demon appeared in the middle of the road when you were driving, and like attacked you with a giant like sledgehammer battle axe thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh my god!" He appeared out of a darkened road and hit your car with an axe, just like mythical New England boogeyman Dick Cheney.
I do remember that. Yeah, that game was weird. I could go on and on about that game.
I was going somewhere with the Witcher thing. So she's
I
forgot.
Big tangent there.
I was complicit.
Tangents are our pumpkins filled with hamburger meat.
Yes,
they keep us enriched.
Yes,
I was complicit, not complacent. No, I was complicit in that tangent. So. She really liked the show, The Witcher. We had a good time watching that. Now she's getting into the books, and I got her the game. And she's really liking it, which is immensely pleasing to me because I love The Witcher, and I love sharing, all the stuff I like with her. And usually sci-fi is more of her bag, so I was like really, really happy that she took to Witcher as much as she did.
That's good.
And she just got to, I'm getting to rewatch all the old cutscenes that I liked, with her, and I'm like, oh, fun! I can rewatch all this stuff.
Nah.
And I remember when you get to Hintersfjall, which is
Hentai's Field.
Yeah, we'll call it that. Hentai Ford.
Hentai Ford.
It is an island in the Skellige Isles.
The Skeleton Isles?
Yeah, we'll call them that. It's like a Viking-y themed area.
Ah, okay.
It's my.
Oh my god!
It's my favorite part of the map, or part of the game.
Yeah.
It's my favorite place you can go.
Is that part of the Blood and Wine DLC?
No, that's Toussaint, but that's also a great place. But anyhow,
what's wrong with its amount of sant?
It's French for All Saints.
Oh.
Toussaint.
Oh, I thought you were saying that it was Toussaint.
It's Toussai.
What are we talking
I'm
about?
being educational. I'm completely ignoring your shitty. I'm not taking your bait.
I'm a masturbator.
That's what we have the pumpkin filled with hamburger meat for.
I'll tell you, Beer Eye is cooking and he drops food on the floor, then pumpkin's full of hamburger meat. I'll tell you what, that boy gonna come up.
That boy is not getting any more turkey. And I tell you, he used to get turkey twice a night when me and Lissa both made our lunches for work the next day. Mm-hmm. And he would always yell his head off and get a whole bunch of little turkey bits dropped onto the floor. Mm-hmm. And he's become entitled to them now. And he's gotten ever bolder and ever braver to
no.
practically reaching up his little hands onto the countertop. And he's not getting any more turkey because last week I gave him too much turkey, I guess, and he threw up in the kitchen floor. So I was like, all right, that's it. It's a clear sign. This is not good for you.
That's gratitude.
Past that point, so you're not getting any more.
That's gratitude for you.
Yeah.
He's just trying to give it all back.
Yeah. Well, that's the only time, I gotta say, that's the only time he's ever barfed. He's not a barf boy. I've never had a cat that didn't throw up constantly.
Probably because you're force feeding him turkey.
So you're in
Hentai's Ford.
You're
yes,
in Hentai's Ford in Skeleton Grad.
In Skeleton Grad, the Soviet city of skeletons.
And
there's
not the Blood and Wine DLC that takes place in Toulouse-Lautrec.
No. But there's this guy who, Ciri, of course, is like she's like a daughter to Geralt. She's like a main figure in the story of The Witcher. You're trying to track her down and find out.
She just showed up on his iPhone.
Yeah.
Ada's like gnashing her teeth.
She looks really angry. That's the maddest I've seen her. You have been really on a tear tonight with a really, really shit dad tier jokes and terrible puns.
I don't know what it is.
I mean, I'm not even talking on the podcast. You've been just doing that all night before we started recording, and I think Ada has progressively gotten angrier and angrier and angrier, including 2 elaborate scenarios you concocted, presented as, describing facts to us, interesting historical facts, only for there to be a really stupid pun.
That's really bad
as the
joke.
payoff.
At the end.
And one of these ended with Ada actually retrieving the kitchen knife.
Yeah, and like
chasing
threatening
you.
me with it.
I regret not having a knife on me at all times.
This is why B-Rai always
I
carries
think Taylor
one.
would be a lot more behaved and a lot more stabbed.
He'd be a lot more dead.
That's a small price.
I'd be a lot lighter because I'd have no blood.
Well, to cut the excruciatingly long Witcher story I have tried to tell already.
We're on a time limit here, Taylor.
Long story short, Ciri goes to this village. You're tracking Ciri. Ciri spent time in this village, and this guy helped her out who's like a local villager, and the guy looked like JonTron. And it made me laugh really hard. And I forgot. I remembered the character, but I forgot that he looked like JonTron. And I was like, wait a minute, didn't he look like somebody? And I saw him and I started laughing. And I was like, it's fucking JonTron. And this guy that helps her out, Ciri's being pursued by these elven bad guys called the Wild Hunt. And they attack the village, which is why the game's called Witcher 3 Wild Hunt.
They're elves? I thought they were spooky sky ghosts.
No, they're elves. So the Wild Hunt is a medieval phenomenon. Was when people would hallucinate riders and phantom shit in the sky, and it turns out in the world of The Witcher that they're really seeing that, but what they're seeing is actually an elite elven cavalry unit that just uses our skies as like a shortcut between realms. And that's what people see when they see that.
Oh.
But anyhow...
Instead of just eating a bunch of moldy bread and hallucinating shit.
Yeah, and then dying of the plague.
Yeah.
But
like you do.
Dying of coronavirus. But yeah, the guy looks like JonTron, and the Wild Hunt attack the village, and the guy helps Ciri flee because, he's friends with her now. But like a lot of the villagers are killed, and then like they don't know about Ciri and him helping her leave. They just think he ran away from the village when the hunt attacked. So they brand him a coward and like strike him from the roster, as the monarch would say. And he has to like go regain his honor by fighting this werewolf named Morkvarg, and like he dies because Morkvarg's a fucking monster. And I was like. We'd just seen all those cutscenes, and I got a huge laugh out of Alyssa because I was like, he looks like fucking JonTron. And I was like, that's what JonTron has to do if he wants to be allowed back in polite circles. He has to go fight Morkvarg.
Here lies JonTron, slain by the werewolf in the year of our Lord 2020.
He has to go.
I don't know how dates work in Witcherland.
It's something like that. Yeah, JonTron has to go fight Morkvarg if he wants to be allowed back on the internet again.
Jonathan Tronathan, killed by his own hubris and a werewolf.
This is a minor spoiler for anyone who hasn't played that mission, but you do eventually have to fight Morkvarg, and you have the option of lifting his curse, because he's sort of a cursed werewolf in that he can't die. Not only... Like, Morkvarg was a horrible pirate when he was alive, and he raided this sacred garden and killed the priestesses there. And because of that, he was cursed, and he got turned into a werewolf and bound to the sacred garden. He can't leave it. But in addition to that, he's eternally hungry, even though it's impossible. Like, he can't starve to death, but he's eternally hungry. And any attempts at eating the food either turns to ash in his mouth or like burns him like fire. So he's just ravenously hungry all the time. And every time somebody kills him, because he's like used as a rite of passage all the time by the people on this island, and he's been killed before, but he always respawns. Mm-hmm. And so he's basically stuck in this endless werewolf hell. And you can
caught
choose...
in a wolf loop.
He is caught in a wolf. He's caught in a loup-garou. Loup-garou is the French word for werewolf.
Le loup-garou.
But so you can lift the curse. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to lift the curse when I played, because I was like, dude was an awful bastard, but he's been stuck in this...
He's been punished.
He's been punished.
He's been suffering.
He's been this way for decades.
He's
so
been
like,
suffering the curse of Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island for too long.
Yeah, that's enough suffering. So I'm going to lift his curse, and I did that, and he turns back into a guy again.
Is he nude?
And no.
Oh.
And he goes, the first thing I'm going to do is start raping again. And like he's
really?
He's learned nothing.
Oh my
God. He is not in any way repentant.
No fucking way.
He's immediately like, I'm sure they've forgotten about me, but I'm coming back with a vengeance to see. And he's like, basically like, I'm going to revert to murdering, raping, and pillaging immediately. And I was like, no. And I immediately killed him. Because then he's just a regular dude and he can't fight back. And I just chopped him in half.
Well, then that sucks too. Because like, you could have been a beast slayer. Now you're just a fucking murderer.
Yep.
That ain't no fun. That ain't more fun than a werewolf.
Before we get off the subject of games, I want to go back to our old standby of Death Stranding.
Yeah. Oh boy!
Because I was watching the NHK channel, as I do.
Was Hideo Kojima on it?
No, he was not. But there's a show called Great Gear where they show off technological inventions and shit.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And they have straight up power skeletons. In Japan now. It's an actual thing. It looks very similar to the power skeleton in the game.
It makes sense to me.
And they like have like a power pack on your back, and it like allows people to walk who like would otherwise need a walker or assistance. Mm-hmm. And it's like being used by industrial workers to like lift shit. I'm like, that is rad as hell. The power skeleton is real.
Oh man, I remember seeing shit like that on fucking Science Channel years ago, back when I still watched TV.
Yeah.
And I remember being like, dude, I'm fucking stoked to have my super suit.
That is really cool.
It's gonna be real rad. And then like, it's just ain't there yet. It's mostly just helping the elderly. Which like, whatever. No, I'm just kidding.
How come Nana gets the speed skeleton?
She's like, I'm gonna smoke your asses in this race. See y'all kids later.
Gotta go fast.
I mean, like, obviously that kind of technology is mostly just gonna be for medical purposes and maybe for labor purposes. And then by the time, like, some people say, like, but then someday it could be an everyday occurrence that when you walk down the street, you have your exoskeleton. And it was like, first off, why would you need that? What kind of briefcase are you lifting?
Yeah.
Our phones are in our computers, dog. Second of all, why not, by that point, I think that if they've reached that level of ubiquity, people would just be putting them inside their bodies anyway.
Yeah.
We just have super skeletons in our bodies, and we just have to like shove a power cord up our asses at night, which is great and fits right within my schedule.
You plug the power cord up your ass, and immediately like the intro song to like Ghost in the Shell starts playing. Fucking Origa.
And I'll be like, Alexa, stop playing Ghost in the Shell music. And it goes, you move like a pregnant cow.
It's like, save me from this hell world I've created for myself.
Oh, man. Have you seen that meme rolling around where it's like, someone breaks into my house, Alexa, release the Roomba. And then it shows a picture of a Roomba and it's got a chainsaw attached to it. Now, that's the kind of home defense system I'm looking forward to. Who needs exoskeletons? You can have chainsaw Roombas protecting your loved ones.
I did see one.
And then when they lob off a limb, you can get one of those robot limbs.
Yeah.
It all works out perfectly.
I did see a variation on that exact same meme, which I'm surprised I didn't remember and then mentioned earlier, but it said, intruder breaks into the house. It's like, Alexa, play Skyrim battle music. And then never should have come here.
Except it's Skyrim, so it's like, never should have come here. 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 Because there's like 8 bandits and they all say the same thing when they're mad at you. I like dunking on Bethesda games now because it's a cool thing to do. Starfield, I said it before and I'll say it again. Starfield better be the second coming of Jesus H himself. Otherwise, Bethesda ain't going to do too hot.
Starfield?
That's the game that's coming out. It's what they're busy on now instead of making Elder Scrolls 6. It's going to be something.
Online MMO.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have no idea. They're keeping it real close to the chest of what it is. But if it's going by current trends, I'd say that when Starfield comes out, it's going to be a game where you can fly a spaceship that is just a gray cube, and then all other spaceships that have even the slightest modicum of personality are available for purchase in the Starfield shop for 800 atoms!
Yeah.
Or something like that. That's my guess. And it'll be like, and don't worry, it's a single player experience, but it's like Elder Scrolls, that shitty mobile game that they had, where it's like, if you want, like, wow, you found a space chest. Either wait 5 minutes or purchase 200 gems, and you can go open it right now with space gems. I'm very jaded.
Oh, yeah.
I'm jaded until Persona 5 Royal comes out next month, and then I'll be the happiest motherfucker and be like, video games is fun!
I thought it was already out.
No, Persona 5 Royal comes out March 31st. As of this recording, they might delay it again because just my luck.
Yeah.
But
There's also the Animal Crossing new
Yeah.
one.
God, I'm excited.
Probably going to have to buy a Switch soon.
Yep.
I
watched some trailers of that
Trailer
with
Park
Lissa,
Boys?
and even I want to play that.
Ooh.
Even I, who does not play a game unless it's possible to murder someone, want to play that game.
Oh, don't worry. Tom Nook has a side quest where you get to off people in secret.
You do get to walk around town with an axe.
Yeah,
And you can hit people with the axe. It just bounces off them harmlessly.
Ada, you had me at axe.
Do they live in Frank Herbert's Dune? Like everybody's just got a force field around them. If you swing something too fast, they'll...
Yeah, all the Animal Crossing characters are spiced up.
Tom Nook just says, I've raided before and cruelly killed women, children, whatever my axe happened to hit. That's one of Morkvarg's men.
Oh, okay. I was like, was that from Lord of the Rings?
No, that's from Witcher.
The Witchist. My favorite Netflix original Hulu. Well, folks, it's been a grand old time here at this Frankenstein Control, but, the wild hunt is coming for us. And who's riding as the captain atop that mighty elven hunt? There he is! Oh, God, it's...
I'm coming for the billionaire class. I'm coming down from the sky to hunt down the billionaire class. Radovid Bezos won't even know what hit him.
Oh, yeah!
Yay!
Get him!
That's exactly what I voted for.
Now even you know I am a menace. I hand you the secrets to save the entire human race and the entire universe.